Hey, what's up? This is the Titanfall Princess, and today I want to talk about Street Fighter 6, or rather, the future of Street Fighter games. As many people know, Street Fighter 2 set the standard for 2D fighting games by incorporating a 6-button layout, creating characters with a unique backstory, and also crafting a revolutionary soundtrack and sound effects that to this day is iconic. Okay, while it can be argued that other games like King of Fighters or many SNK fighting games had a superior fighting game system, that still wouldn't have been possible without Street Fighter 2. A matter of fact, you would be hard pressed to find a fighting game that doesn't have the classic quarter circle forward punch motion or any other mechanics in Street Fighter game, including how characters can change a move in order to use it, like Gayu or Bullrog. Street Fighter 2 also had the first commercially successful female in a fighting game. So, in all honesty, the game and the series broke ground where the majority of other fighting games could not. And as usual, with every success comes a sequel. And surprisingly, every sequel to Street Fighter has been an improvement until we got to Street Fighter 5. Now, I'm sure there will be some Street Fighter player that will disagree with this, but at least wait until I make my point before you disagree. Now, Street Fighter 5 launched in 2016, 2 years after the last Street Fighter release, which was Ultra Street Fighter 4, and 3 years after Killer Instinct for the Xbox One. And to the many diehards, okay, this was the game we had been waiting for. An updated Street Fighter game for the 8th generation of consoles with online and all the trimmings with it. The problem was it launched bare bones and didn't include standard game modes at the bare minimum. Okay, it had no arcade mode, no versus computer mode, or any content offline that probably worked offline. Not even the survival mode that still used online to track your progress for fight points and new colors for outfits. Street Fighter V launched with the promise of catering to newcomers while also being a competitive Street Fighter game that was online focused. In hindsight, every person that paid a full $60 for it, like myself, ended up with a disc that really didn't have any use offline. And trust me, there were plenty of times Street Fighter V went offline just for service maintenance. And I know some of you can relate to that. You know, as time went by, Capcom ended up patching the game several times per season, causing many Street Fighter V players to regret the new patches or ask, what the hell is Capcom doing? But I digress, because this is an ongoing issue with many fighting games. What wasn't an going on issue with other fighting games was patches for online. And to this day, Street Fighter V still hasn't fixed the netcode for this game. Tell me, how is it possible to search for a 3-bar connection but still have a laggy match? And that's the thing. Searching for good connections on Street Fighter V takes the longest, because let's face it, these days in the fighting game communities, okay, people complain about lag but still use Wi-Fi connections to play online. Now, NetherRealm Studios ended up having a good alternative, to this by actually showing you how other people are connected. something Capcom should have, at the very least, looked into. Okay? Then, other questionable decisions were made. Since Street Fighter V as a game didn't sell enough copies and is one of the worst selling Street Fighter games to date, Capcom, I don't know why I keep mixing it up, Capcom decided to put microtransactions in the game, of all things, okay? And also cut down on the fight money that you earn in the game, just so it would, be much harder to get new colors or purchase a new character or characters, and it ended up working out for them because the fan base put money into new costumes and new characters. Even the stages were for sale in the game. Some stages were just variations of stages already in the game, like a daytime setting or a nighttime setting. Street Fighter V even charged money, okay, for Street Fighter 2 classic soundtracks. And get this, it wasn't even for the complete game tracks. It wasn't. Just a normal loop. All for about $4. Okay? $4. And you didn't even get the complete one. Okay? Decisions like this not only pissed me off, apparently pissed off some pro players too. Especially Mike Ross. From The Excellent Adventures of Gutex and Mike Ross. I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. Okay? It got so bad for Mike Ross and a situation with Capcom that Mike Ross wanted nothing else to do with Street Fighter V. And it was one of the contributing factors for him ultimately leaving the show, The Excellent Adventures of Gutek and Mike Ross. AFGC show that many of us tuned into for Street Fighter 4 content and other fighting games ended up, going down. You know what I'm saying? With that show now just being known as Cross Counter TV. It went down because of all this shit. Went down. Okay? And how could I blame Mike Ross for being disgusted with this game? Almost every former Evo champion in Street Fighter 4 ended up not being able to play the game at a high level. And I know, okay, times change. Don't get me wrong, I know times change. But skill doesn't, okay? It's no coincidence that people like Daigo, Umara, Justin Wong, I hope I'm saying his name right, Sako, okay? And Mike Ross ended up just being good, being good at the game, but not great at the game. It's not a coincidence, people, okay? And I said in the beginning of this video, Street Fighter V was aimed at the newcomers. And most of the fighting system in the game isn't really geared towards defensive mechanics. It's about offense and comeback mechanics so that everyone gets a chance to win no matter how new they are. Which means it don't take no skill. Okay? Anyway, this has been a problem for many fighting games this generation with in-game mechanics like auto combos or comebacks. The thing is, while most developers think it's a way to entice newcomers, it doesn't always work out. Kind of like Blade Strangers. Fighting games, at the bare minimum, is about skill, thinking, and fundamentals, okay? But that's best to say, but I'm going to save that for another topic, all right? But just think about what I said, okay? So, I recently saw some tweets about Street Fighter 6, and I thought, I want no part of this game until it provides itself, it proves itself as a game. Until Capcom, as a division, learns to take fighting games more serious, like they used to, okay? We don't need just another entry. We don't. We need the old Capcom that delivered us the classics. That's what we need. Now, keep in mind that Street Fighter 6 could very well end up being a really good game. But everyone has to be on the same page about just how bad Street Fighter 5 really was. You gotta be on the same page. If it had less finishing moves, less stages, less game modes, less moves, no proximity normals at all, and it felt like a really dumbed down version of Street Fighter. So sure you can have fun with the game. Yeah, you can. But as soon as you hop online, here we go, and fight Ken, then another Ken, and then a guy, then another guy, then a Kuma, and more Kumas, okay? Then really take the time to see how imbalanced the game is. I can't imagine anyone wanting to pay a full $60 for it. Why pay that when there are games like Tekken 7 or Guilty Gear Revelator 2? There are much more balanced. They are much more balanced and are filled with much more content. Okay? Now, the last thing I'm going to say before I get out of here is they need to, if they're going to do this game, not do what they did with Street Fighter 5. With like I said, all the downloads, all the patches. Give us a full game. I'm not paying no $60. I'm not buying it. Okay? Until it's proved myself. I don't want to wait for my characters. Wait for this, wait for that. And I don't want you to be dumbing down characters, nerfing other characters, buffing this one, unbuffing this one, over buffing this one, under nerfing this one. I don't want that shit in the game. So until they prove to me that they came back as classic Capcom, I'm not getting the game. Those are my thoughts. See you guys later. I'm out of here.